The writing's the right way around today. Still really hard to clean this thing, but anyway, have you noticed that AI is tempered a little bit, but there are still a lot of oversells, I think, in 2026. So I'm going to go through the four that I think are the key ones that are just annoying people when they do actually give AI a try. It's not living up to the hype that people are selling them. So let's look first at this logic versus probability, because that's really the biggest one that I think is easiest to dispel. And I'm not shy I put my neck on the line. If you disagree, comment below. But I just think that probability, exactly what it says on the tin here, that it's looking at the next word. It's got these tokens, it's looking at them. The more context you can give these tokens, the better, but it's always predicting that next word. It's a probability engine, a complex one, a very, very good one, a useful one. But it is just that. What it struggles with is when you have these logical flows taking you to different places, and you've got dead ends, you've got different questions. We're getting more complex as we go through. If that, then this, maybe go up to here. It struggles with logic because it's not intelligent, not in the human sense. It's very, very good at what it does, but it really struggles with these kind of complex logical paths. Give it a couple of things, absolutely fine. And this is where we talk about intelligent automation over AI. You can't just let it go rogue. It will make the wrong choices. It will get things wrong. It's just probability. So that's really the big one. The next one is fluency versus fact. Now, what it's very, very good at is this repetitive job, the probabilities. Now, while it will get different answers all the time, and again, not consistent in that way, it is kind of semi-reliable. It will tend to do the same things if you prompt it in the same ways and use the same types of information. So it's very fluent. It's kind of almost predictable in a way, right? You know what you're getting with it. However, it's not bringing you facts. These probabilities and these logical flows that it's messing up, it comes to the wrong decision. If a human makes a mistake, it's like a typo. But if a computer makes a mistake, it goes down and it could give you a complete hallucination and make something up entirely. It's a different type of error, and one that can be much, much more dangerous, in my opinion. So we have to kind of look at that fluency versus fact. It can't be relied upon. We have to keep checking all the time. Then we get to large data versus knowledge, right? So it can take all these documents, right? Loads and loads of documents. And what can it do with these documents? Well, it chunks them up, and it's called use vectors. And we can take the right piece of information from loads of texts, and we're talking thousands of pages here, right? This is really, really good because we can really churn through and find information. So it will reference these files for you and say, got all this information from XYZ. And this is where it comes into the loop a little bit for that kind of, not logic, but for that kind of concept of, yes, it can predict and therefore it can find you what you want. However, it will mess up these flows and it might make the wrong decision because it's missed a no or a yes, but for these examples. It's not very good at complex understanding of rules. So while it is very good at passing information and taking it through, it is not that great at making sure you haven't missed anything. But it's great as a sense check to say false flags, for example. You can take you to places where you can check. But what happens if you miss it? You're going to have to go through and check it anyway. So, you have to realize what AI is good at and what it's bad at. And what it's good at are these predictive models. It's not good at logic. It's good at going through and sifting huge amounts of information, but it might miss things and it might get the wrong context there. So the next one is correlation versus causation. So we might find all these documents, and in all these documents, somebody signed them. And the correlation is, every time the CEO signs a document, the profits go up. So therefore, the CEO must sign documents. There's a kind of twisted logic there. While I'm simplifying a lot of these things, that's what we're talking about. It's not understanding why the documents were signed. It's looking at proposals that were authorized because they looked like, and they've gone through due diligence, that's why they've been signed. But what makes all these documents, that's the big question mark here. What makes all these documents excellent? And it's that information, those pieces of data that's scattered around the organization that it's not looking at. And that's really the key for me, that it's missing a lot of information, a lot of context. So yes, we can plug in more information, but the more information that we plug in to it, the more likely it is not to understand the logical operators as it goes through. So this is again why we're looking for automation, intelligent automation, which isn't the same as AI. And that's really, really key for me. And a good example of the correlation versus causation was the flash crash in 2010, where an algorithmic training caused a huge but very small fluctuation, or sorry, huge fluctuation, but for a small amount of time. Let's be clear, it was a massive fluctuation, but it rectified itself quickly. But that was an example of correlation, not causation. And so this brings me back to the kind of key point about all of this. Is the productivity real? Absolutely, 100%. Because I believe personally, and I'm taking this number out of thin air, but you get the point that I'm making, that I think a lot of people are working around about 130% of capacity. And what AI is able to do with understanding that it can do these dirgy jobs well is it can bring us back to that 100%. And that's the key part for me, is that kind of churn that companies might be going through. If you're using AI and you're training your staff how to do it, then you're helping them get in a skills kind of void that we're in. Remember, everyone said AI is going to be taking jobs. We're not seeing it, right? Can you hire the people that you want? No, because your people are working at capacity or higher. And what AI is able to do is bring us back to normality. So if your company is adopting simple uses of AI, not over-egging its use, and just training your employees to do those jobs really much faster, more reliably, but definitely still checking everything, right? Because AI lies, okay? Not hallucinations, lies, okay? So this is really the key thing for me. So the caveat for a lot of people is exactly this, right? They're talking about all the errors here, and then they're saying, oh, okay, it's okay, we've got a human in the loop here, somewhere along this, checking all these information, all along the flows. Well, okay, that humans can be in the loop, but where are they learning from? Where are they getting that experiential knowledge from? And they're doing it by going through the documents. So they can't trust AI to do everything because they still need to go through and check it. It's a bit of a paradox that we're in. And people that have been in roles for multiple years, tens of years, decades, they know when AI is just not making sense. But how do your young employees know that if you're not giving them the experience, or they're just trusting AI to do those roles? So we're not in an automation part. We are talking about the fact that productivity is real, but autonomy is fake. And if you try and get sold any ideas that AI is going to do all this for you, you're living in a dream world. And that's what's annoying people, in my opinion. So hone your expectations in. Don't believe everything you read, as always. Fact check it. Use AI to have a go. I'm fact checking this document to check I'm talking sense as well. Do it as well. See what happens. And that's the point. Always be asking questions. And AI is actually good at giving you quite reliable answers for that, but always check it. Bye for now.